how's it going, Cancerian community? Soul Tiger is here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So, some key words here is can't seem to get a moment of peace. Every time you turn around, Cancerian, it's like you're being sucked into some drama again. Why is it that you're the one who seems to have your head on the right way, while others can barely hang on to theirs? Keep your cool, Cancerian, at this time so you are not joining them. Alright, so oh my goodness, there's a lot coming out. Oh wow. This is really, really interesting. I've never had this happen before. So right here we have dirty offer in a confused position, and then we have an offer in upright position. So we don't know which way to look at some of this stuff that's coming in. So let's see what's on top of this offer. What is somebody trying to offer you? Bad habits. Maybe that's something that we gotta watch out on. Bad habits doesn't just have to do with drugs. It could be over consuming alcohol. It could be wanting you to do things that you know you struggle with putting a cap on, with stopping. So be careful, be careful, be careful. We have different addictions to things. Sometimes our addictions can get the best of us. Shopping addictions, caffeine addictions, sweet addictions, stuff like that. Of course, drug addictions, just different kind of escapism. And this is a more than one person type of situation right here. More than one person type of situation. What does it have to do with? Being confused at being able to block things, put up a block, saying no, probably. Having a hard time reflecting on what is happening as well. Also, I feel like you're having a hard time reflecting on the actions you do want to take. Something you're not seeing as a jackpot here. There is a win in the future here if you can handle this. What does it have to do with? Well, watch out for those people who are fishing for comments, looking for you to react. People who hide in plain sight, but come in as a friend. This has to do with karmic type of friends, karmic type of relationships, karmic type of acquaintances, karmic type of family members, karmic type of community type of things. So this is you getting ready to probably level up. And you have people here who don't want you to level up. They want to keep you in the mix of the drama, Cancerian. I keep wanting to call you Capricorn. I did do Capricorn's last upload. And with Capricorn, I think the main thing out of Capricorn I'll mention to you, Cancerian, is that they needed to start something new for 2026. A new routine of going about things, something totally different than what they have been doing. Maybe that's a little food for thought for you right there. Maybe there are different habits that you want to gain, maybe different ways of reacting, maybe different ways of processing, or different ways of going about to move forward that you haven't done before. Maybe some of these things, these people are going to look at you a little bit different. That's okay. That's whatever. The public is scared of things that are different. And those are the ones who want to fit into the cookie cutter mold of being like everybody else. But be careful, be careful, be careful, because what may seem like something of a peace offering may throw you into a trajectory that you're trying to get away from, that you're trying to build yourself up from. And be careful, you will have people who want to lure you back into those habits, because what is it? Misery loves company. And if they feel like they can't make changes, then why should you make changes? Oh my goodness. You will. Misery loves company, and you will have people who will put on their mask, and they will come and they will play on you so that you don't level up. So be careful when it comes down to the confusion, especially when they're commenting on things on your social media or some kind of public platform, whether it's LinkedIn, I'm hearing to say, some kind of business platform that everybody uses to communicate with. Maybe everybody's getting invited to go out for drinks and you're trying to quit drinking. Could be something of like that, Cancerian. So let's go ahead and get started. Don't be confused. That's the biggest thing, is do not be confused. That's what they're trying to do, is to confuse you in your emotions. And the lure is that they're going to say things. They're going to say these ideologies that you really like. And I say it like that because you are really emotionally invested in things. When you go forward, you go with your heart. You see through the filters of your heart opposed to the filters of logic all the time. You're really filling out the emotions of things when it comes to the energy. And I feel like that's something that they're going to try and capitalize on you when it comes to this Knight of Cups, and even in the Page of Cups. Knight of Cups almost in reverse and Page is in the confused position there. And this is the movement that they want to make. This is the investment that they're going to slow but steadily invest in with their King of Pentacles energy to the Devil. Devil is all about Capricorn energy, and it talks about the things that we seek out for security, like a security blanket. Maybe it's coping mechanisms as well type of energy, but it also talks about how we run at odds ends with change. And these two coming in, it's a slow and steady investment for them, but they're still willing to make the moves to make it happen. It's not quick stuff. They're not inviting you out all the time, but they know when to insert it, and they know that you're trying to do stuff to better your health, to better your foundations of your health, of the relationships around you, the health of the relationships, I should say. Maybe you're trying to change things up for yourself so that you can see things differently as well. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, the whole thing is you want to do something really different. And you want to go about conquering certain things that you've been running at odds ends with. Usually with the Five of Swords, it talks about putting down certain conflicts. But here, you want to face things that you once feared. And this is something that you would like to do for 2026. And I feel like you're trying to do it now. You've really taken a step back and you're trying to see things from a fresh view, opposed to always that critical mind where you're judging things and you only see one way of going of things. Something about your planet here, something also about Cancerian, is being adaptable. Think about it. You can go from land into the water. So yeah, rebalancing. You want to rebalance the things that you're passionate about as well. The things that drive you. You could be wanting to rebalance your work life. That could be something. I really feel like I'm not seeing a lot of family cards here, but these are things that have felt like they're out of your control. Things that, really, really mess with your mind a lot. And this has to do with the fairness of things. Cancerian, one of the biggest things for you, especially when it comes to the things that you're loyal to, is fairness. And that is the jackpot here. Honestly, because you're invested with your heart. You're not invested from a greed kind of stance. And that's beautiful. That is beautiful because it's you having that heart that has opened doors for you, Cancerian. Now, maybe here's some food for thought when it comes to your challenge here is maybe, just maybe, starting to learn how to focus on everything that you're doing right. Everything that you're wanting to move towards, opposed to focusing on everything that you're doing wrong. Everything that you're doing wrong that brings conflict, that has other people upset, that has other people feeling like you're abandoning them. Because remember, whoever this is, they don't want you to abandon them. That's why they want to come in with these offers, to keep you where you're at, even though you want to gain new habits, to do better things for yourself and for whatever this community is. Oh my goodness gracious. It stinks. It really stinks when we get in these relationships with people who don't want to change. And you have a lot of people out there who feel like change is fake. It's fake. You're supposed to stay who you are from a young age until the end. And the whole thing is the strongest species survive because of adaptation, because of evolution. And through the different phases of your life, you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to evolve to adapt to the newer times, the newer places that you go. Always seeking to grow. That is a part of the good side of the ego as well. So let's focus in on that, and especially when you're getting stressed out from the drama that's happening around you. And again, when this person tries to make offers to you and you're stressed out and it sounds like the right thing to do, take a step back. Let's practice some patience for clarity. Do something for yourself that requires you to take care of yourself. And as you do this small task for you to take care of you, I want you to focus in on all the things that you've been doing right, all the moves that you've been making that has shown you progress, all the changes that you have made from so many years ago until now. All right, so let's continue on our journey. Angels of protection. What is it that needs to come out for, the Cancerian's block? Please, angels of protection, help, guide, and keep us safe as we navigate this block. Something funky is going on with these cards right now. Holy moly. I'm having a hard time holding them. Just like I'm having a hard time, I think, dispensing them. I don't know. This is really weird. Okay. So I feel like there's something here that you're trying to hold on to, but things just kind of keep falling through your hands. And that is something that is very frustrating to you as well. Things that we have happening over here with the Six of Candles. I don't know. I really feel like this person is going to reach for you when you're at your lowest. When they see that you're at your lowest, they're going to come in to make those offers. That's why I say you got to focus on all your positivities. So something here with your mind. With your mind and not wanting to be left out on the cold when it comes to things, but still having an inability at understanding why things are happening the way that they are. You know, you're really trying to hold yourself together when it comes to the different events that have happened in your life. Different events, again, that were out of your control. Out of your control, especially when it came to others, or when it comes to others, I should say. Juggling, 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 juggling. Juggling, trying to be a stand-up person versus going off the deep end. Juggling, trying to balance out the communication with others, trying to balance out also your independentness. So what it is you want to have great relationships with others, but you also want a very good independent side to yourself. What it is you're in a community, but you're not codependent. You are an important member of this community, but you're not codependent. But there's something here in your beliefs. Something here in your beliefs that's really hard to give you stability, especially when it comes to the things that you really want to work for, which is really interesting. These things that you really want to work for. I don't know. I really don't know here. I mean, your optimism, you're not really having optimism. And one of the biggest things that really bugs you is the conflict. Maybe the optimism here is recognizing that conflict is always going to happen. That no matter where you go, it's never going to be fully peaceful. That there is always going to be some kind of drama happening here. And it doesn't mean that you're any less of a person. I mean, it's just understanding what comes with the territory. No community is perfect. You're always going to have one person, say, who's overworked. You have another person who's underwhelmed, who is unenthusiastic, I should say, about being in the community. You're going to have another person who is tired of being in the community. You're just going to have another person who just likes to talk about everybody in the community because they're holding their own securities and their jealousy. Then you're going to have others in the community who are like micromanagers and who need and it doesn't mean they're managers, but who need everything to be done to a T, with everything being perfect all the time. Then you're going to have somebody in the community who's just going to be like, yeah, whatever. Just, I'm here to do what I can to the least of my abilities. And the reason why I say that is because our community is made up of a lot of different personalities. Just like you will always have ones in your community, I'm sorry to say, who are engrossed in their own relationship, and the only way their relationship stays stable is by sucking other people into their relationship to create drama, because they're having their own power struggle. And by bringing others into the relationship, it shifts the power back and forth depending on how these two react to things. So that's just a little bit of it. You're going to have somebody who's bitter because they're always feeling rejected, like their ideas are not working. And just like you're going to have the one person who kind of is like very timid. They're afraid to speak up. And the thing is you have to understand that wherever you go, your communities are going to have different personalities within them, because each of those individuals have their own life and have their own way of doing things. And that's okay, because to each their own. But the thing is you want to remain the most nurturing type of person out of this. You want to be the one who takes care of the environment. Like I said, you're always seeing things through the heart's filter when it comes to incoming stuff, when you're reading between the lines, between people's emotions, between their body language, what they're saying versus what the energy is actually putting out. That is actually a really neat superpower of yours. But something that you need to take a step back is you have a role in that community as well. And the role in your community as of authority is of higher up energy. And that's what I get also with that Queen of Swords up in here. You are one who is meant to handle things. Here we go. Because the Queen of Swords came out, and then I had the King of Swords also come out when I was cleansing it, and I could already tell that you were working with a higher up type of authority type of energy. And that's something that we need to recognize at times, especially when we are trying to lead the direction, when we're trying to take care of the empire. Even though I don't have the emperor here, I have the empress. She is the other side to things, where he is the progressive energy who's moving forward. She is the more relaxed energy who is more adaptable, who is more flexible. And see, this is something that you need to harness within you when it comes to the things that you love, the things that really relate to you. And being okay with that. You're going to step on people's toes to get out of the games that they're trying to play with you. Your steady investment is always to invest in your stability and invest in the intentions that you put towards those stabilities. And the stabilities of things could be making sure that when you walk into work, everything's handled. When you walk into the home, you have stuff handled. And things being handled is making sure the bills are paid, making sure the paperwork's caught up. Because a lot of times when you're in that higher up position, you're handling things that not everybody else sees. And it kind of seems very trivial that you have to deal with all this drama because you're a little bit above the drama. You are trying to take care of everything to make sure everything runs. But again, it comes with the personalities here. Don't forget that. But don't take it out on yourself when these many personalities are not happy. When these many personalities are trying to corral, to change something, to maybe gang up on you, whatever. Because at the end of the day, you're in the position you're in for a reason. Because you worked really, really hard. So when it comes to reflecting, don't always reflect on the mistakes that you're making or that these people are trying to make you feel like you're making. Start to reflect on your intentions, where you're going and what you're doing and how far you've came and why you're in the position you're in opposed to them. Because there's a reason why you're there and they're not. Ooh, I like this a lot. Alrighty, so let's call in divine and universal energy for those final positive messages. Here, rebalance. It's time to be flexible. It's time to be adaptable as we are going to head into another phase of ourselves for 2026, Cancerian. It can be a very, 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 very good year. Just know that. Something here when it comes to your mind. When it comes to the mind wanting to overthink things like before. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Especially when you have others who are trying to come in and influence you to doing things that you're trying to stop doing. Something else here is masculine energy. We need to be more progressive with what we want to paint, more progressive with how we want to balance ourselves out and how we want to put ourselves together. Remember, we are our own masterpiece, and with every stroke, with every sculpt, we are finding ourselves more and more and more. And again, it comes at the adapting to help balance ourselves through the different phases, through the different confusions that come in when it comes to dealing with relationships outside of ourselves. Some things that you don't see is these extremes. The extremes and needing to release those extremes. Remember to find different kind of things to do. Yes, you want to shut down to some old habits that you have, but what are some new habits that you can gain that will help release? Is there a Cancerian who loves to do karaoke? Maybe heading out twice a month to help release the extremes of work, the frustrations, and going and singing, belting, sopranoing, duetting, soloing, kind of karaoke, just to release that energy, just to realign back with yourself, to rebalance yourself when the extremes seem to be at their most. That is something here. Maybe there's something else that you like to do. Maybe it could be something where you're dedicated to painting. Maybe it's painting. I feel like it is some kind of art kind of form or creative expression kind of thing, whether it's painting, like I said, sculpting, just trying something new. Maybe for 2026 you go ahead and you try some new hobbies, see what you like. Maybe it has to do with hair. Maybe you've always wanted to do hair, so maybe getting on some different platforms, checking out different hairstyles, and just like working on that, working on doing something new for yourself. That could be something that is a part of that self-care. A few other things you're not seeing and you're at odds and with, as well as confused, is we have discernment and focus. Oh my god. And this has to do with the drama. This has to do with the drama. You need to use discernment. Be flexible. Be adaptable when it comes to looking or being drawn into other people's drama. Redirecting your focus, bringing your focus inwards, because sometimes when we over focus on what other people are doing, reading between the lines, it can create more discernment. Sometimes we just got to take things at face value and just leave it for what it is. What do I mean is you could be having somebody sucking you into their drama because they do something subtle to you, and then you realize the other person isn't liking it. So say you get sucked into a conversation and all of a sudden this one is focusing more on you and this one notices it. You say something funny and this one really laughs more and this one notices. So this one starts overcompensating. Could be making passive aggressive comments towards what you guys are talking about so they can be included. And what do you do when you see this happen? You try to rebalance the whole thing. And then you start to overread into their energies. No, it's reshifting your focus, taking this for the face value that it is. Who are these people? What do they mean? What do the positions that they play? And treat them as that. When one tries to over-focus to make this power struggle start to happen and start to teeter between these two, you don't even feed into it. You make it brief. You do what you got to do, say what you got to say, and continue on your way. You don't have to be over friendly, but you don't have to, bring yourself down, bring your energy down, come more into a submissive type of energy to appease another. That's not the position that you're playing. Just know that. And you know what? When it comes to jealousy and when it comes to others having power struggles in their relationships, that's what they're built on for those others. That's the way that they love, or that's the way that they view love. That's the way that they view friendships. That's the way that they view that they're supposed to act with others. That's not your problem. You don't have to make it your problem. I'm just going to tell you that right there, right now, because again, what happens in these type of relationships right here is you'll always have one who's upset. You'll always have one who's more upset than the other. Be careful, be careful, be careful, because sometimes their investments are trying to pull you down to their level. Different offerings that they like to bring in that seem really good, but they're really not, because they want to pull at the habits that you're trying to get rid of. And that is hard. That is hard, especially when they want to play the games y'all once played or have been routinely playing. Just remember, that's how they've been moving in on you. Just know that, because again, if they're out in the cold, a lot of times they want other people to feel how they do. Misery, misery, misery loves company. But just know, no matter what they're trying to fish for, what they're trying to say, guess what? We're going to recognize something for 2026. And what we're going to recognize is we're going to not dial ourselves back, but instead go towards, the conflict. The conflict. Instead of not wanting to block and be adaptable, we're going to block it out, and we're going to see things from a higher view. Especially when it comes to us reflecting on the different situations, the different extremes that we seem to get stuck in when it comes to these third-party kind of things. The biggest thing is getting out of the confusion, to balance yourself, and we get out of the confusion by using discernment. And this is a new contract that you're going to draw with yourself, because guess what? You have things to do. You have ideas that you want to stitch together. You have foundations that you want to build strong, and you really want to move forward with this. You want to move forward, but you know you're gonna have to make some people unhappy, because guess what? You're gonna say what you need to say, and then you're gonna do your thing. No more letting these people feel like things are out of control because of the way that they want to come in on you. Because guess what? You've been working hard for the things that you have, for the career that you have, and we're going to make these situations a little more black and white when it comes to how much focus we give to them. Because guess what? We don't have to sit here and keep unbalancing ourselves for others. It's time to release. Time to release, to be fair to ourselves, and see how we're winning, how we've been winning, how we get up every day, not just for ourselves, but for our community as well. And even though things feel like they're out of your control, because all they want to do is play games with you and you don't understand why. It doesn't matter. Why? Because you're going to understand people are going to be who they are no matter what. And what's important for you here is to keep going towards the changes that you want to make, towards the things that you've wanted to do differently. Because again, we're not going to keep their misery company by staying entrenched in the old habits that keep us on their levels. We're going to be okay with getting out of those trenches, getting out of that escapism, getting out of the habits we no longer want, that no longer serve us. And we're going to do it by taking care of ourselves, by reflecting on all the things that we're doing good, opposed to reflecting on all the things that we're doing bad or don't seem ideal. Oh my goodness, Cancerian, this was a bunch here. I mean, holy moly, y'all had quite a bit of cards that came out. But the biggest medicine here is keep moving forward. Keep working on the masterpiece that you are. Are you going to have slip-ups? Yes. But you don't have to turn a slip-up into a month full of regrets. You don't. And usually when we do have slip-ups, it's not to be hard on ourselves, but to remember why we want to make those changes and why we work so hard before that slip-up to start those changes. All right, well, this is going to conclude it, Cancerian. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope you have a most wonderful rest of your day.